Hello, welcome to another episode of the Golden Spear Homestead. Hello, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well. Well, today I got something for you. If you have an old ice chest laying around your house, this episode is for you. In today's episode, what I'm going to be doing is converting one of my old ice chests into a live fish well. Now, this fish well, I'll be able to use it on a boat, or if I decide to go out and just have a day fishing off the bank, I'll be able to use it there. So with that, let's get to work. Now, this ice chest, you can tell it doesn't have the seals around the end like the newer ice chests do. And it did a good job, but I've upgraded to a newer ice chest. And what I decided was to turn this into a live fish well that I can use when I'm fishing. So before we get this project started, let's go over the supplies that you're going to need to get this done. Everything on this table, it might look like it's a lot, but in the end, you'll see. Yeah, it's really not. The main things that you're going to need to get, I got myself some 1/2-inch PVC PEX piping. I got some wire. I got 2 switches. This right here is shrink wrap. I have a 1/2-inch this type fitting. Not sure quite what the name is, but I'll show you how I'm going to use it. Some plastic hangers, and I had that came out of my little kit. Some waterproof Velcro, a 1/2-inch end cap, 1/2-inch angle. You're going to need a pump. And I went out and I got myself one of these tsunami aerator kits. That's what I'm going to be using as my pump. To run this, you're going to need a drill, some drill bittings. These 2 right here are drill bittings, some fittings. You're going to need a soldering iron or some type of soldering gun, some solder, and then this right here is a light. I'm going to try to put a light in this thing. So the main thing is to get the pump, but if I can dazzle it up and fix it up really, really nice, I'll be able to have a light. Okay, and then this piece of block wood, I just use a block wood to do my soldering on. That's all the supplies that we're going to need for this project. Let's get started. See if we can make ourselves a live well. So the first thing that I'm going to do is get my pump situated. So I'm going to get my pump out of my box. Here's my pump. And like I said, you got a screen on this end. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reverse this screw like this. See how far, let's see right there. And then I'm going to put this screener on. This screener is, like I said, it's just what it'll do. It'll screen out anything that gets sucked in. And let me see, do I want to take it all the way down? Let's see how that looks if I take it all the way down. Yeah, that'll work. That'll work. So if you see, got it in there. It sucks anything in and it's on pretty tight. So now this is where my waterproof Velcro straps will come in place. So I'll set that right there. That's these. If you see them, they kind of lock in and then should be able to hold it in place. So what I'm going to do here is get this, put these on. Now what you need to get also, and what I'm going to do is go get some type of acetone or alcohol. Probably be better to use alcohol in here. Got me a little bit of alcohol in here, so I'm just going to clean the surface so that I make sure that when I put my waterproof Velcro on there, it'll stick and it'll have a good connection and it won't come off. All right, clean that. Clean the top of this off. And here is information about the pump. Okay, all right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stick this on here so I can stick that in there with the wire and the hose facing upwards. Take that off and let's get this situated. All right. Yep, that's in there. Now I gotta figure out how I'm going to get the hose connected. How much do I need? Because that's gotta go across there. Alrighty, so eventually what I'm gonna do is drill holes in here, and then this will be where the water sprays out and how the aeration for the water is created. Now I could go like that, but I kind of want to maybe do like this, maybe do something like this. That'll come down, and then like this. This is my cap, so the cap will go on here like that. And then I can put it in like that. Let's see if I can make something happen. That's gonna be high. So what I'm gonna end up doing is cutting a little bit of this off so that I can stick some of this in, because that's what I wanna do. I wanna stick that right there and then have this connect on here like that. So I'm gonna go cut this in half, and then I'll be right back. So I've cut that pipe in half. This is gonna go like that. That's gonna get mounted right there. And then I just need a little piece of hose to connect these two. So I'm gonna work on that, getting this hose to connect on these. What I'm gonna probably end up doing is heating this up a little bit, and then I can screw this on, and then that'll stick, and then then we'll see. Maybe I'll cut it like right there to get down on the pump, and maybe do a zip tie. It's on there. Alrighty. So now what I need to do is get these joined. One of the things that you need to have, some type of primer and some type of glue. So I'm gonna get these stuck together now. Right, so got it all put together. Put this up, moving on. Let's get it connected, get this connected to the pump. Okay, so there's the pump. How are we going to get this connected on that so that I can put this on? I'm thinking I'm gonna try to cut this and maybe put a hose clamp on it, and then that'll look a little bit better. I'm thinking that's what I'm gonna do. All right. So So now I got that cut off. Hopefully you can see that. That's how that looks. So now we're gonna see if it'll fit on. Okay, I have my hose clamps, but what I'm gonna do before I hook this to that pump is I'm gonna drill the holes that I need. So setting it like this, I'm gonna mark with this, just kind of scar it. It's a little scar, and kind of, really, I'm gonna drill right along here. Okay, now, I could sit here and measure out like, oh, I want a hole every 2 inches or every 3 inches or every ½ inch. Really, it's up to you. I just want enough holes in here that the aeration process, that it will keep air in the tank. Okay, all righty. There's my hose in my PVC pipe, and it should shoot down pretty much. This one here is kind of high, but we'll see. Now we're gonna get this connected to this. So what I'm gonna do is just like I did before, I'm gonna heat this up a little bit, put this on here, make sure I have my clamps. And I had to push it on, and it's on there. All right, so now I'm gonna tighten up my hose clamps and stick the pump back in there. Again, if you're gonna use clamps, stainless steel, so it don't rust out. And that's what these clamps are. All righty. There it is. I'm going to get this stuck back in place. Okay. And then that right there. So what we're going to do now is get this mounted and held in place with some silicone, and put it around here so that it doesn't get any water down on the inside. Like, again, not that water is not going to be that high, but I'm sure when it's closed, condensation, evaporation will cause moisture to move a little bit. See, so here, because of that, it's right there. We slide that down. And right there. That is nice. As you can see, I have the pump in, connected with water-resistant Velcro. I have my hose connected to my pump that comes up into my feeder pipe. I attach my feeder pipe with 2 plastic clamps, drilled a hole in the PVC pipe, and essentially that's the setup. All right, so now what I have to do is the electrical part. I gotta run the wire up, out, and then attach my switches. Okay, moving right along. Okay, so now we're moving on to electrical. So I'm gonna pull this like this, run it up behind here like that. There's a clamp that I can connect that'll hold that in place. So we're gonna get that clamp, these clamps right here. Right there, like that. You're gonna drill a hole right through here. Drill that hole to feed the wire through. Then I'm going to have to widen it out as much as I can because I'm going to have to get a switch in there. So let's get our switch. Here's our switch. Now when I drill, I don't want my hole to be bigger than that. And I'm going to feed both the light and the pump through the same hole, get it on the outside, and then figure out how I'm going to wire it up. Okay, there it is. All right, let me just check with my switch, see how close did I come, and how much more I'm gonna have to make it, how much wider I'm gonna have to make it. Oh, that's cool, not too much. All right, got this hole drilled. I'm gonna drill a second hole. Then what I need to do is kind of gut around all of this so that I can get the switches in there. So I can get the switches in there and then put some type of silicone around the back. Okay. All right, got that cut out. Now I just need to pull this out. Now, we got that out. I hit my pipe a little bit, but I didn't cut through it. Okay. Okay, that's that one. That's that. Okay, let's get that light installed. Spray a little alcohol. Clean it up. I'm gonna do it right here. Stick that in right there. Got the light on. Which one of these? Probably gonna do this, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut this off, still plug it, and then use this end to go to the switch. That's what I'll do. Okay, I got it cut off, and I'm gonna skin the wires. Okay, got that in. Let's test and see if we got light. Oh yeah, that's gonna be nice. Yes. All right, let's check and see, make sure the pump works. Let's see if we can hear the pump come on. Now what we got, we can start hooking this up. So now I gotta get the switches hooked up. Essentially you'll wire one wire to each switch. You'll have this power wire come into this side. It'll come out and go and connect to the main power wire that's coming in and go out to the battery. And it's the same thing for the other switch. So let's get my switches, my wire, and let's get this bad boy wired up so we can test it. Right, so I got my main switches on. That's gonna be the pump. This is gonna be the light, and what I'll do is just write pump and light with a Sharpie. This is my main power wire coming out. And then, like I said, this, whatever length you want to cut your main power wire to, that's up to you. But now what I'm gonna do is finish getting this wired in. And then, this battery right now has 12.3 volts, I believe, in it. And I'm gonna run and see how many hours the pump will run with the light on. Then I'm gonna do another test with just the pump. But yes, that's the switches right here. That's the pump. The light comes on. I'll show you on the inside. So we turn it on. That's the light. As you can see, it lights it up really nice. And then the pump comes on. So now what I want to do is I'm going to put some water in it. Let's see if this thing works. Let's test it out. I got water in it. There's no leaks. It's time to test it out. So the first thing, you already seen the light. Light comes on. It's got a, lights it up pretty good. And now the pump. There it is, guys. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. All right, gang. That's going to do it for this episode of the Golden Spear Homestead. If you made it this far, please, right now, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit that notification so that you know when I'm posting new videos. All right, in a couple of weeks, we'll be back up in Seligman, starting to get all of our projects on the property going. All right, gang, you guys have a wonderful evening, a blessed week, and take care of each other. Peace.